And today we're going to be doing some sighting in on this Ross Mark II 1905 rifle. If you guys watched the little accuracy test that I did with the two Enfields, you know, the number 4 Mark I and the number 1 Mark III, and the Ross rifle, what I figured out, because I'd never shot it at any distance before, that it was shooting way low and left. So I've been looking at this rifle and I think I understand this kind of interesting sighting system a little better, and I think I know what I need to do for it. So if we come in and look at it, not all Ross Mark IIs have a sight like this, but this one does. It was a transitional sight that they tried out, but it's very interesting. So you have like a modified Gewehr 98 Longevisor sight in a lot of ways. You have this kind of like a micro adjustment here on the top that you can add an extra 90 yards to, and your windage adjustment, and just kind of an overview if you guys haven't seen this rifle. All Rosses are straight pulls. You know, it's the Mark II is a lot like the Star M95 in how the action works. You have a safety back here that will lock up the gun, and you have this interesting loading gate. So this was really before everybody settled on the German stripper clip as the best idea. Even the Americans around this time are using the Craig Jorgensen with that loading gate. So this is similar. You can single load, or you can push this down and just drop them all in at once. It's actually pretty slick for a sporting rifle. As a military rifle, I definitely think that they should have figured out the stripper clip thing. So what we figured out is that it was shooting, like I said, low and left. So I'm gonna bring this sight over. I'm thinking like a click and maybe just a little extra than that, because it was pretty far left. And another thing I think I figured out is I think this thing is truly zeroed at point blank, because I've never really had to change the sights at 100 yards, but I was so far low that especially since it's 0 and then 0 here, I really think it's a true 0. So I'm gonna start at 50 yards and I'm gonna crank this thing up to 50 yards and see if I can bring that right where I want it to hit. So let's get started. I have a little target set up, just a small round, and then I'm going to be reusing some of the targets from yesterday. I'll just mark out the hits with the pen, and let's see what happens. Okay guys, so we're at 50 yards. I'm going to bring this a click, and I'm going to go like a click and some. Bring this up to 50. Okay, believe we're in. Let's see where we're at. Let's get settled in. This is not the best shooting rest. You have to really pull that out with some authority if you want them to eject. Okay, let's see what that did. Okay, so we see they're all pretty close to one another, but they're just a little low. So I think I should be adding maybe another 10 yards to the sights. It looks like maybe somebody might have messed with the front sight at one point, the more I was looking at it, and maybe that has thrown some of the elevation of the original settings off. But I think I'm going to bring it up maybe to 60, 65 yards since we're at 50, and let's see where it prints then. Okay, so the windage actually doesn't look too bad now, but it's definitely shooting short. So I'm gonna bring it up to maybe 70, and let's see what that does. Well, it fell off. But let's see what happened. Okay guys, I'm still getting a little stringing around, but this is much better. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it was hanging like that. So I do think that I'm about in the right spot. So that front sight must be a different elevation than it was originally. Like I said, someone sporterized this rifle and they did quite a bit of work to it. You know, they cut the stock and it looks like they might have messed with the sight a little bit. But let's stretch it out to about 120-ish and let's see where we're at. Okay, so now we're about 120 yards. So I will set this to, let me pull it back. Okay, leave her in there. That's 1. Then I'm gonna actually go to 150. So let's see if that helps at all. Okay. Man, I'm wavering a lot. I can feel it. Man, I'm sorry I'm taking a long time. Okay, so that was 5. Man, I could not seem to get a good shooting position. I had a wall blanket here yesterday, which I think held it better, but this Fielson 10 jacket, I had to put my hand underneath, so we'll see. Okay, guys, this is much better. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I could not, as you guys will probably see in the video, I was having a really hard time getting it to sit down. So I'm actually pretty excited about what I'm seeing here at about 120 yards. 3 of these shots are awfully close to one another. 2 right here in the bullseye and these 2 that drop down. So I'm very, very happy about that. I think we figured it out. Okay guys, I tried to set up a little better rest with all my stuff I had, and I put a second dot higher around the throat area of the target so I can have a fresh dot to shoot at. I'm gonna bump this up to 60, just give it just that one more bump. So we're at 160, even though we're shooting like 120 yards. It's just kind of something to think about. Let me swap bullets here. Let's see if I can do this any better. Also, I found since 303 British is a rimmed round, sometimes it wants to have a little bit rim lock, but if you just give this a little pump, they usually land right where you want them. Okay, so I'm gonna go up to 160 and let's see. Once again, give it a pump. There we are. I saw that one go a little low. Oh, I guess that's it. Okay, let's see what happened. Okay, guys, I think we're finally right in there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One dead center bullseye, and the group I did before I cranked it up just a little. I had 2 in the black. So what I'm finding, like I've been mentioning, is I'm just gonna have to aim. I'm going to have to set my sight just about 40 yards more than I think I should. So that's kind of lousy. I might be in the market looking for an original front sight, because if you guys come look at this, I'm not sure if you can see the front sight in there, but it looks like someone made it. You can see I put I did a lighter trick so that the top of it was black, but it looks manufactured. It doesn't look original. So I'm wondering if they messed with the height for their purposes. But I think that we're finally there. I think that this is the best group that we've seen, even out of the rifles from yesterday with the other Enfields. And a lot of this is just me, guys. I'm not that much of a target shooter. I'm much more of a combat style shooter. I'm kind of target the size of a man is usually how I shoot. But I think I could get into this with this Ross. So, second day out shooting this rifle, I'm feeling pretty happy about that. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. But, until next time, I've been Ivan. You've been watching Forest Firearms. And, thanks for coming by.